This Leaf is about to shock everyone. William Nylander dominates back on the wing, and we have a massive update on the John Klingberg injury. So you're going to want to stick around on this episode of Hattrick HQ. But before we get into that, we just want to say that 82.2% of you guys aren't subscribed. So if you're looking for a home to daily NHL and daily Leafs content, look no further. Go down below, hit that subscribe button, become a part of the Hattrick HQ community. But with that said, let's get right into the first topic of the video today, which is Klingberg set to return. And as we take a look from Sheldon Keefe, we got a comment. He said he looked great. He's got full court press going on to play tomorrow, but I don't think the medical department is going to agree with him. So we won't play to him tomorrow, but all signs point towards him being available to go for a full go next week. But Mark, obviously this is huge news because I know we've discussed here in the past about maybe if he wasn't going to return, and with Timmins down is kind of all up in the air. But now he's back. He's ready to go for opening night. I know a lot of Leafs fans are excited.
Yeah, it's a big thing to see he's coming back. I know another quote did come out, and Klingberg said if this was in the middle of the year and this wasn't preseason, he would be playing for sure. So it's nice to see that this injury is not going to be something that's going to hold him out of the lineup. Hopefully, we do see him game one in the playoffs. I know we had Benoit. He was signed to this team, and we did see him. Last night, he did have a hat trick, and by hat trick, I mean a hat trick of minor penalties. He didn't look exceptional. I know he was dealing with some injuries, so he's a little foot behind. But it's nice to see that we do have this guy that can come up as a seventh D, and we can ultimately get Klingberg back for game one, get him into this lineup, put him on the power play, and just let him work his magic, get his groove back, get his confidence, and just make this impact offensively for the Leafs.
Yeah, it definitely took the words right out of my mouth there. Obviously, the power play one unit is back in action with John Klingberg back on it. We're excited to see what it can do in the regular season. And you know what, Canadian Thanksgiving coming up here on Monday, maybe some butternut squash will get them back going into the game.
Oh, definitely. It's nice to see him back. Like I said, the big thing is get him on this power play, get that completely rolling. I mean, if Riley's looking good on the first one as usual, you can slide him back to the second. But I think just having this extra offense, puck moving, just clearing zones, a guy like this is just going to be great having him back in this Leafs blue line.
Yeah, for sure. We're definitely excited to see what John Klingberg can add to this Leafs team during the regular season. So stay tuned for that. I know game one's going to be something between me and Mark, Montreal and Toronto. Going to be a fun watch. We're going to get to our next topic of the video here, which is Willie dominates on the wing. And of course, last night, if you missed it, he did have a 2-goal game where he was back in his main position, back on the right wing. Obviously, he played phenomenal, had 2 goals. And we're just going to show you one of these goals here now, because if you missed it, this was a highlight reel goal. And as you take a look here, he comes in from pass from Mitch, takes a little backhand, slips it past the netminder there. But Mark, obviously, this is such a beautiful goal from William Nylander. It was nice to see him. I think he's looked good all preseason at center and right wing, but he just looked a lot more comfortable out there last night.
Yeah, we've seen him mostly with the Leafs during his time, especially during the Tavares and Matthews and Marner era, that he is playing a lot of wing. He's comfortable with John Tavares. We've seen a lot of his scoring opportunities. He was getting good breakout chances. He also did steal the puck on this too, so he was playing defensively. I didn't mind him at center. I think ultimately, if we get to the point where we wanted to run him as the third line center, I wouldn't be mad about it. But he does look so comfortable. Seeing this line of Domi, Tavares, and Nylander, it does make me feel a lot better. I know we've seen Tavares, Nyes, and Lafferty being talked about earlier on in the preseason, but I like this line because you get so much offense, you get so much grit out of a guy like Domi. Tavares is going to be his regular self where he can play a two-way game, great on the faceoffs, and Nylander's just going to be the guy that score you 40 goals again. So I do really like this. It's nice to see that the transition between wing to center and center to wing hasn't affected him. It's just nice for Keefe to have this opportunity to be like, hey, we have this elite guy. He can play on the wing, and he can still play center if we ever need him to.
Yeah, and that's the great thing too. You know, a lot of the NHL right now is dealing with injuries and stuff like that. And if we hope not, but if one of the Leafs centers do go down during the season, then we know that we can get William Nylander at that center position, and he'll play just fine because he looked really good in this preseason. But Mark, I do know a lot of Leafs fans are concerned about the Nylander contract extension, but we actually got an update on it here today, where they say this week, however, he revealed his intentions in a conversation with The Athletic. It won't be like last time. Nylander says he told his agent Louis Gross that he can continue to negotiate with the Leafs throughout the season. He just doesn't want to hear about it until Gross and the Leafs are at the finish line. That would seem to suggest that Nylander has a clear number in mind for his next contract and won't even contemplate a deal until the Leafs get there. And Mark, obviously, it's good that he is willing to negotiate during the season, and obviously he knows what he's worth and what number he wants, and he's got full faith in his agent Louis Gross to get this deal done, and we really do hope it gets done.
Yeah, we seen the last time Nylander was coming up on his contract. We did have Lou Lamoriello as a GM at the time. He did hold out going into the season. He wasn't playing. So it is nice that he is willing to work on this throughout the season. And it's not just something he said, hey, get it done this summer or it's going to go into next year where you might lose me. So it is a bit of a sigh of relief where this guy will continue to play. He's going to continue and not be distracted by this. But it is a little scary with him looking at this number that he wants. I think at this point the Leafs do need to bite the bullet. Obviously, if something outrageous like 11 or 12 million, you need to look at the opportunities of maybe trading him or just letting him walk if you want to run him out this entire year. But like I said, just having this guy back, he's going to produce. I wouldn't be surprised if he scored between 40 and 50 goals again. He's been one of our best playoff performers. I think you hold on to him. You get this deal done now. If it goes into the playoffs and you still don't have it done, you can't not play this guy. Like I said, he's been one of our best performers. I don't think you move him at deadline. He's one of our top players, and you don't trade a top player during a playoff run. Even if you lose him in free agency, a lot of teams lose guys. Obviously, we don't want to lose Nylander, but like I said, he is a piece of this core. And if they're running this core, I think you have to keep him or get this deal done before deadline.
Yeah, it's the risk you take, when a player isn't extended going in through the season. Obviously, the Leafs are looking good for a nice cup run this year, and if they get a cup and the fallout from that is losing Nylander, I think it's definitely worth it for Leafs fans. Haven't had one in a long time, but I do really think Nylander will get extended. In saying that, because we've expressed here on the channel before that Brad Treliving loves Nylander, and I really think that they will get this deal done.
Yeah, and the big thing is too is when you look at it, we have 18 mil freed up. I know I keep saying this. You have guys like Brody, Domi, Bertuzzi. You're getting a lot of contracts come off the book, so you do free up some room there. Then next offseason, you have the extensions on a guy like Marner and Tavares available. So I do think Marner might take roughly the same or a little more on a long-term deal, but Tavares won't be making $11 million. So say if you drop Tavares down, two, three, $4 million off his current deal, that gives you the wiggle room to extend Nylander. Plus, with the cap going up, I know the escrow is going to be completely paid off after the season. So the cap's going to skyrocket. We're getting a lot of free money. I think you get this guy signed. Like I said, he's one of our best players. He's been one of our best playoff performers. He's a guy that I would not be surprised if he led the Leafs in scoring at some point of his career if he stays there. So I definitely think you just get this done. You worry about the money after all these extensions and players are up next season, and you just work, get the nail in the coffin, and just get this done.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I really do think that this deal is going to get done, and I think Nylander's going to have one of the best seasons of his career because it seems like every player in their contract year has a great year. So I'm really hoping we're rooting here on Hattrick HQ that he gets extended because we both really love William Nylander. But we're going to get into our next topic of the video here, which is Keefe gives a rookie high praise. And I know we did touch on this a bit yesterday, but we got more news coming out today about Keefe's comments on Minten in last night's game. He said he was good, just like he has been. Played smart, competed, he had good pace, played better than he has in other games, actually. The thing with Fraser, he has not taken a step back. And we also see here that he did play 13 minutes last night and won 78% of faceoffs. And obviously, Mark, I know me and you have been really excited because this guy kind of came out of the blue during this preseason, and I really do really like his game on the Leafs, and it's just great to see that Sheldon Keefe is trusting him to be that potentially third line center.
Yeah, I know a couple of weeks ago, even before Minton got in, it was during the Tavares City tournament. I was saying this guy has so much potential. It's a guy that people had to keep an eye on, but I was not expecting him to come out at 19, make this impact. I know we've seen Cowan make an impact as well. I do think he heads back to the OHL. He hasn't really got into the lineup a lot. It is nice to see him up, working with his team. I could see next season being the year that he kind of makes this next jump. But I was so excited with this lineup they ran last night where you had Mitten in the middle, you had a guy like Nyes and Yarncroke. They were hard on the forecheck. They were getting scoring opportunities. The face-offs were winning. They were playing just the 200-foot game of they were playing in every zone. They were causing disruption. And I think the line does perfectly fit the third line. I know it might not be the high scoring line, but if you have this line that you can put out from 13 to 17 minutes a night, they're going to break up plays. They're going to get a lot of pucks on net. This is just so valuable because you have this where they could come out in the neutral zone, get the puck, couple shots on net. You get a face off, you get your line out with Matthews and Marner or Tavares and Nylander, and it gives them more opportunities where you look at this line, you're not like, oh, God, we're going to put them out. We're going to get stuck in our zone. We're going to get hemmed. They've just been showing so much of a two-way game that I do really like this. I'm super happy if they keep his third line, and I'm willing to bet anything that he does start at center on game one, and I think he does get past his 9 games if he continues this. I don't see a problem with it at all.
Yeah, it definitely seems like Sheldon Keefe has full confidence in this young guy to kind of start in this lineup. And I really do like his game. I think he's a great player out there. He's got good speed. His forechecking ability, him and Nas last night looked amazing on that forecheck. I just think this third line is definitely a sneaky line for this Toronto Maple Leafs team because you look up front, you got all the talent. But when you get down in this bottom six, there's still a lot of talent down there as well. And I really do think this guy's going to make the team coming out of this preseason. Like you said, I do agree that he will be the opening night center on that third line. And also in this guy, you get someone, in those tough situations when you need to win a faceoff. This guy can go out there and win it. I know you have Tavares as well, but when you have two great faceoff takers, even Matthews is a great faceoff taker. That's three great faceoff takers down the middle and even Keefe, he's solid back there on the fourth line as well. I just think the Leafs are going to have such a great year this year with all these guys on their team, and Fraser Minten just adds such more to this, so much more to this team just with the way he plays. He's great defensively, great offensively as well. I just think this third line with Matthew Nyes, who's probably been the most standout player in this preseason, with a veteran like Yarncroke on that line, I think this line's going to dominate.
And the big thing is too, look at this third line of Mitten and Nyes. They're young, they're both rookies. They have a bit of inexperience. Like you said, Yarncroke's a good veteran, but it also gives you the wiggle room of just say you get a couple of games in, Mitten looks incredible, but the line's not producing a lot. You can move a guy like Nyes up on the line with Tavares and Nylander, slide Domi down for a little more offense because you still get your two-way game out of Yarncroke and Mitten. Or if you even wanted to move Yarncroke up and drop Nylander, there's so much wiggle room. Like I said, you have Nylander that can still play center. You still have Matthews, Tavares, Mitten, and Kemp that can play down the middle as well. So I think it looks really good just having this guy here. You can still make in-game adjustments. You can still try a couple things. But like I said, I'd be quite upset if he didn't get his 9 games. I also just, like I said, hope that he extends plays this full year, especially if this continues into the actual season and not just preseason. But you look at the games like Montreal, for example, where he played outstanding. That was almost a full Montreal lineup. I know Montreal might not be a top heavy team. They might not be a dominant team at the moment, but these are still NHL guys where he was playing against Suzuki and Caulfield. I just think overall he looked outstanding. Obviously, there's going to be a tiny bit of growing pains, but I think throughout the season where he continues to develop this leadership, two-way game, scoring, I could see him just skyrocketing in the race. I think he's a guy that you could see for Rookie of the Year. I don't think he's going to win it where you have a guy like Fantelli, even Matthew Nyes and Connor Bedard, of course. But I think he's a guy at one point of the season he'll be in the conversation of a top 10 rookie where he just shows his dominant play. It might not be fully scoring, but just the two-way game looks incredible.
Yeah, definitely. We really do think that this guy's going to start opening night. And we just want to hear your guys' comments down below. What do you think of this young star or kind of emerging in Toronto with Fraser Minten? Let us know down below. What do you think about Nylander's game back on the wing? And let us know how you feel about Klingberg coming back because I know a lot of people are excited to see him. We're going to get into everybody's favorite topic here, which is comment of the day. And the comment of the day today goes to Jim. He says, Casey, I think you are a Leaf fan incognito. And like I've said here on the channel, I am a Habs fan, but I do enjoy the Leafs. I know a lot of people might think that is absolutely ridiculous, but everyone around me is a Leafs fan. Mark, obviously one of my best friends, is a Leafs fan, and a bunch of my friends are Leafs fans. My dad is actually a Leafs fan. So over the years, I've kind of grown to like Toronto, I guess you could say, but when Montreal's playing them, you know who I'm rooting for. But if you guys like this video, make sure to go down below, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 2,000 subscribers, so I really appreciate if you go down, smash that like button. And if you like the Leafs, make sure to check out this video popping up on your screen right now. And I've been KC, alongside my co-host Mark Pye. Keep your stick on the ice.